Hey, welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be showing you guys how we can create an app with AI in a matter of minutes. We're going to be using n8n for the backend. This is going to receive the data, transform it, and then send it back to the app. And then we're going to be using something called Loveable to actually create the app. It's all created with AI. We can edit it and do a bunch of really cool things. I'm going to walk you guys through an example of me setting one up, and you can use this as inspiration, but you can get a lot more creative with it for sure. So over here on Lovable, this is where the user will actually be able to interact with the app. You can also connect it to other things other than n8n like Stripe or a Supabase. There's lots of different things you can do with this, but we're just going to get started and write a prompt in here. So just come over to Lovable. I'm going to have a link in the description to this website, and if you use that link, you'll also get double the credits. So I just came up with an idea. I just put a super simple prompt in here. It says, create me a web app where the user could submit text or a document and we will help them understand it. The app will be called Explain Like I'm 5. So pretty much this app users will be able to submit something that they don't understand, like legal documents or whatever, and this will come back with an answer and help them understand it in an easier language. And then what we're going to do is, I just looked up landing page example. We'll just pick one of these and screenshot it, and we can actually go over into Lovable and say use this as inspiration. So we'll just go here, and then I said use the attached photo as an example for the landing page. So let's just go ahead and attach it now. And after this, you're just going to submit it and it will start creating code for you. It might take a little bit to load, but once this is loaded up, we should see the page. As you can see over here on the left, it's starting to create text and it's starting to write the code. So in the meantime, we're going to go back over to n8n and start getting this ready to receive the information from Lovable. So how we're going to do this is by setting up a webhook, and we're going to make sure this is on post. And what a webhook does is pretty much allow us to receive information from somewhere. So if we get this link right here, all you have to do is copy it. Now if we put this link over back in Lovable, we'll be able to receive the information that the user submits on the app. Alright, so it's a couple minutes later and this is already done. It's actually looking really nice. I like the way this looks. There's two different options right here. It says enter text, and there's also an option to upload a document. And we can actually take any of these fields out, change anything that we don't like, and we could just do that in the AI prompt right here. So I actually might take it, or I might tell it to take out the email option right here. I don't want that, and I'm going to change a few other things too. Alright, so what I'm going to tell it to do is please take out the option for users to submit their email. So it should take this out right here. And now we're also going to tell it when we click this button, or when a user clicks this button, the data will get sent over to n8n. So also when you click the explain this to me, send a post request via webhook to this link. And make sure you do add post, because that's what it needs to be on for us to receive the information. And then you can just go back to n8n, copy this, and then we could put the link right here, and it'll rewrite the code, and we'll wait for that and test it out. Alright, nice. It looks like it took out the email field, and it should have also added the webhook. So we're going to go ahead and test this out now. I'm just going to copy some information I got here, just some fake legal talk, and we can test this out. So we'll go back to n8n, make sure to press test workflow since we don't have the workflow active right now. And then we can wait for this to load, paste it again, and test if this works. So let's go back to n8n and click on here, and it looks like we got all the data right here. Nice. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and add an AI agent, and we're going to take the information that we are getting from Lovable, and we're going to use an AI agent to transform the data and then send it back. Of course, you can get a lot more creative with this. You can do a lot of different things, but this is just an example. So we'll just add GPT-4o Mini for this, and then we can go into the AI agent, and under source for prompt, instead of having it connected chat trigger node, we're going to change it to define below. And then what we can do is just scroll down to the content. This is what the user was submitting on Lovable, and we could just drag it over right here. Now that the AI agent is getting the data from Lovable, we actually are going to add a system message and tell it what to do. So I just wrote a quick prompt right here saying you're an expert at simplifying complex information. When giving any block of text, your job is to explain it in a way that a 5-year-old would understand. Use simple words, short sentences, and relatable examples. I'm not going to do the upload document part right now, but that can be definitely done in here. but for now we're just going to be doing in text and see if this works. We can go ahead and test a step now, and now we have the output from the AI agent. We actually need to send the data back to Lovable so the user can get their explanation. So we'll do this by adding a respond to webhook node right here. And what we're going to do is actually go back to the first webhook, and we need to change this to respond and change it to using respond to webhook node, just like that. So this should be good now, so we can go back to Lovable and update the prompt. Okay, so over in Lovable, I just wrote this prompt out right here. I said, when data gets sent to the webhook, wait until a response from the webhook, then output that in a field that says, here is your explanation. So we'll go ahead and update this right here and then test out the workflow again. Okay, so I tested it out and it doesn't look like it's actually giving us an explanation here. So I'm just going to tell the prompt to fix it. I told it it's not giving us an explanation, so we'll see if we can go ahead and fix it with just a simple prompt like this. And right away, it's already saying that they can see that there's an issue. It's getting back a field that says output, but they're looking for something called message, which that shouldn't be happening. So let's see if they can fix it. And it says they updated the code, so we'll paste it in here again. Go back to n8n, test workflow, and see if it works this time. So if I go right here, there we go. Looks like we got the explanation now. And I'm just going to double check and make sure this is the exact same thing from here. Okay, imagine you and your friend make a deal to play together. If something goes wrong, like your friend breaks a toy. Yep, it looks exactly the same. So cool. Now we're going to add a few more features to this site. So let's get into that. So the next thing we're going to do is actually change the logo on this site. I actually really like the one that they created for us, but just for an example, you can put your own logo in. So I'll show you how. I'm just going to download a random logo over here on Google, and what we can do is go back to Lovable and we can attach the logo, and I'm just going to tell it to put it in the top left. Please use this as the logo, put it in the top left, and that should work perfectly fine. Okay, cool. Looks like the logo's up there now. It has a white background though, so it looks horrible, but if I was actually doing this for real, I'd create my own logo and do it like that. Also probably change the font around a little bit, but I do like how it has like the gradient right here. That looks good. So the next thing I want to do is add a few more features to this site. So I'm telling it to add a drop-down menu where users can change the explanation level. So we have the standard, explain like I'm 5, or college, or expert. This just gives it different explanations back depending on what level they want. So we'll just go ahead and submit that and have it create the code for us. Alright, cool. Looks like the code is done generating now, and we have the drop-down menu where you can change your explanation level. I'm just going to put some more text in here because now that we have different explanation levels, we're actually going to have to change the AI prompt in n8n to change depending on what they choose. So we'll go back to test, and we'll submit this information again, or it reloads, but we'll submit this now. Alright, we got the explanation back. I do also like how they put these buttons down here. But what we're going to do now is go back in n8n and actually change this prompt. Because if we look at the webhook now, we should be able to see the level right here. So we have the explain like I'm 5, college, and expert. So now we're going to have to change the output of the AI agent depending on what level they choose. Alright, so I changed up the AI node a bit. So I put this here right here that says explanation level, and then I just dragged over right here. This is the drop down that the user can click, and then the user input, which is just the content that the user is typing into the app. And then over here I also changed this and just told it to change out the output and change up the explanation level depending on what the user clicks. The app is looking really good now. We could also set up this tab over here for the upload documents. We're not going to do that right now, but if I were, we would set up something like an OCR tool in n8n and then send that over to an AI agent and then send it back here. Be pretty simple to set up. One last thing, if we do want to make this workflow active, because right now we have to click test workflow every time we want to test it, we would change this webhook to, instead of a test URL, production URL, copy this, and then we can make it active. And then what we would have to do is go back into the prompt and just say, I changed the webhook address, and then put in the new webhook address, which is the actual production one. Alright, so I'm just going to do one more test here with the newly updated information on n8n, and we'll also use expert this time because we haven't tried that one yet, and we should get a response over here in Lovable. So here we go, we got a response right here, and it's just giving a response to everything we just typed in there. Alright guys, that's going to be the end of the video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I think this is a really powerful tool that can help a lot of people. You can get really creative with this as well. But if you want to try it out, link in the description. You get 2 times the credit. I'm going to be making more videos soon. So yeah, thank you. Peace.